Volvo Bus have introduced into its range a new low-floor vehicle designated B6BLE. The B6BLE bus incorporates independent front suspension in conjunction with a flat intermediate underframe. This combination gives an unobstructed low floor area extending some 60% of the vehicle length, and with the independent suspension providing an excellent gangway width between the front wheel arches. Due to the reduced intrusion into the saloon area with these new features, it enables greater flexibility in body design, seating layout, and improved passenger access. The front and intermediate frame height is 320 millimeters, which can be lowered at the front end still further, with kneeling suspension to 250 millimeters. The chassis in principle is in 3 modules. The front section housing the front suspension, the rear section containing the rear axle and major running units, and the center section. Due to the fact the center section is component-free, wheelbase options can be engineered relatively simply. Currently, 2 wheelbase options are available: 5,515 millimeters and 4,635 millimeters, permitting typical overall vehicle lengths of 10.8 meters and 10 meters respectively. The B6BLE has a gross vehicle weight of 12.5 tons, with individual axle weights of 4.5 tons on the front and 8 tons on the rear. The front suspension loads are distributed in part to the body structure via the wheel arch, with the remaining load through a vertical tubular inverted V support mounted on the subframe. The suspension itself consists of unequal length wishbones connected to a king post. Positioned at the top is an air spring which transfers suspension loads into the wheel arch and subframe structure. Suspension damping is provided by telescopic dampers. This new design allows greater suspension movement with excellent ride characteristics. These features can be seen with this vehicle on test. The high outer location of the air springs ensures increased roll stiffness during cornering. The rear suspension remains unchanged for current B6BLE models. Suspension ride height is now controlled electronically via axle position sensors, which are located at each wheel, as seen here, conveying ride height information to a central control unit. The control unit in turn triggers solenoid units to adjust suspension height as required. With this form of suspension control, air consumption is reduced and additional suspension functions can be readily programmed to give ferry lift and a range of suspension kneel combinations to suit various operating requirements. In the steering area, the B6BLE uses the standard Volvo steering column assembly, which provides steering wheel adjustment for height and rake. Steering movement is via an angle box to a chassis-mounted integral power steering unit. A single drag link is connected to twin relay levers, which in turn relay movement to half track rods and finally the steering arms. This system design enables wheel lock angles of 50 degrees to be achieved, providing excellent maneuverability and turning circle performance. The same rear station as previous models houses the existing engine and gearbox variants. However, with regard to the rear axle, this now has an engineered capacity of 10.5 tons with a larger driving head. This means, with an operational loading of 8 tons, the axles will offer high levels of reliability. On this vehicle, a number of ancillary components have been relocated. For example, the batteries have been positioned under the driving compartment on a swing-out carrier to assist with servicing. At the rear, behind the left-hand wheel, the wet tank, air dryer and purge tank are located. The rear service air reservoir is located behind the right-hand rear wheel, with the front service supply at the front of the vehicle. 2 tandem fuel tanks are located just forward of the rear chassis bulkhead, with a combined capacity of 190 litres. On the engine, an air compressor of an increased capacity has been introduced, which reduces the air system recovery time and increases compressor offload running. The foundation brakes on the B6BLE remain unchanged from previous models. The radiator has a pre-filter with the intake ducted to improve airflow efficiency and to ease the body building process. At the rear of the vehicle, various step options will be available depending on body configurations. On single-door applications, passenger access will be via a ramped main floor with a single step. On two-door specifications, the ramp floor section is not available and is replaced by a second step. This completes the introduction to the B6BLE, which we hope you'll find helpful.